Free Santiago.
Okay, good morning, Toastmasters, most welcome guests. For all of you that don't know my name is Jeffrey Santiago, and I'm probably one of the few Puerto Ricans that they are born in New York but not raised in New York. I was raised in Puerto Rico. I grew up in a small town called Santa Isabel on the south of the island, around 40 miles from San Juan. The main economy of my hometown when I grew up, it was just the sugarcane fields, plantations of tomato, onions, and that was it. It was a simple life, very relaxed. We were hungry, and we were climbing a mango tree, and we were picking up a mango, and we were eating. So that was when I grew up. That was something that I took it for granted. I was there, so it wasn't nothing important for me at that time. Growing up, my family was my dad, my mom, and myself, so I didn't have any brothers. So friends become a very important part of my life. Because I realized that I'm not going to have a brother growing up, somebody at night to talk or to say if I'm sad or something. So I had like 10 friends that became my brothers. They became my brothers. We went to school together. We went even to college together. So I know those people much better than their wife or their parents. So and they know me as well the same way. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. We were able to go to parties together and play sport together. Sport was something very important of my life because we didn't have a lot of the luxuries that we have here, that we have Disney World or we have dolphin games, or there are so many activities in South Florida. I didn't grow up with that. So playing basketball, playing baseball was very important for me. As a matter of fact, since when I grew up, that was what I was doing all my life, and that was playing sport. And I grew up very naive, to be honest with you, because being a small town, very far from the big city of San Juan, so it was totally different. And I was very naive in a way. When I was in 9th grade, my parents decided to change me from school. So I was in a public school in my hometown, and they moved me to another town to go to a private school. The main difference that I found when I moved to that other school, when I was at that time, I didn't have any goals for the future. It was like, my dad was in the military, so I said, well, when I got out from high school, I'm going to go to the army, and I'm going to be there for 20 years, and that would be it, that was it. When I started going to this different school, all my friends, they want to be doctors, they want to be lawyers, they want to be engineers. And I was like, well, in 10 years when they do like a class reunion, I want to say, I am this. I became this person. I was successful, professionally. And since 9th grade, my mentally started changing, and I said, I need to study hard. I need to prepare so that I'm be able to get into a college and get an education. So I went to high school. Sport was a very important part of my life, but I started losing interest. I become a teenager now. I'm start dating girls, and so that not become that important for me. But school was something that was very important for me. So when I got from high school, I went to Inter-American University of Puerto Rico, San Germán campus, which is in the west coast of the island. And so it's even probably 70, 80 miles from San Juan. So it was a different, the way that the people behave in that town was a very countryside town. Most of the people going to that school, their family have farms, and they were into agricultural. But me, I was always in business. I had a role model, was my mom, and she was very successful in business. And in 1994, when I graduated from college, and I had my degree in marketing, and I had an offer to work for Procter & Gamble. At the same time, my mom had an offer for Westinghouse. That at that time she was going through her 20 years with Westinghouse to relocate from Puerto Rico to Coral Springs, Florida. And I was like, okay. My mom said, well, do you want to come with me? And I said, okay. Do I go to live with my mom, or do I stay by myself in this house all for me, and I can make all these parties with my friend? And I said, Mom, you know what? You better go. You better go. And so my mom moved to Florida, and I stayed in Puerto Rico for 4 more years. And it was I was very spoiled. I was the only one in my house, so my mom used to do everything for me. But she always showed me, one day I'm not going to be next to you. One day I'm going to be gone, and you have to cook, you need to iron your clothes, you need to wash your clothes. So at the same time that she spoiled me, always teach me all those things. So when my mom moved to Florida, and the first few weeks, you know, it was fun. We were making parties, and you know, I don't have to call anybody because I'm coming late to my house. So it was great. But I started missing my mom. I started missing the relationship, the communications, and it was very tough. For 4 years, that was one of the most difficult things that I went through. Until one day I decide I'm going to move to Florida. I'm going to start a new life. I'm going to look for another career. And I resigned to Procter & Gamble, and I moved to Florida. What a culture shock. It was totally different. It's a new language. You know, Spanish is my first language, so I had to learn a new language, adapt to a new culture, not having friends, being from a town that everybody knew me, to go to a town that I didn't know anybody. So it was very difficult. At the beginning, I hated it. I had to be honest with you, I hated it. I really want to go back. But at the same time, I had a goal. And I said, I left Puerto Rico because I want to be successful. And I was so focused on my goal that I said I need to be able to speak a proper English, that I can communicate. And at the same time, I want to compete for the same jobs like everybody else. And that was my goal. And this year, November 10, will be my 12th year living in Florida. And I'm very happy because I made that decision that time. And that was one of the most important things for a very important decision for my life. And just to conclude, just being able to have both cultures, to grow up very Hispanic, with a very strong Hispanic heritage, but at the same time to adapt to American culture, which is totally different, and combine both. And I think that I have the best of both worlds, because I can eat meatloaf and with mashed potatoes and corn, but at the same time I can have, you know, pork, rice, and beans, and I'm still happy and I enjoy it. And if you guys have a goal, don't ever give up. Just look to that goal and work hard, because I can guarantee if you work hard, you will achieve your goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I just want to commend you for not using your notes at all, especially for your icebreaker.